Okay, so we have our system together and we have all of our software installed. And things are working okay. I mean, if you come over here and you look at, we have Gary's mod loaded. You can see there's a little bit of glitching out here. Um, you know, we don't have our video card in yet, so that's probably one reason. So what we're going to do is, right now it's a stable system, but we haven't used our second memory module ever since we took it out to get Windows installed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to install the second 8 gig of memory, and we're going to see how that affects the system. This is something we've done before. We've installed the memory, so this is not something that we're going to focus on too much, but we do want to show you which slot we're putting everything into. It's going to be kind of difficult to get these out sometimes. Once again, this is the Corsair Vengeance, and we are going to just take note of where the keying is. You can see this little cutaway there, and that will allow us to put this into slot 4 or DIMM 4. And once you get the edges in, it's a little bit more difficult to do this when the system is vertical, but it will work. So pushing down on each side, making sure that I ground myself to the case. And since the system, I do want to make sure, especially since I know that the system became unstable with this DIMM slot occupied before, I want to make sure that I'm really seating this properly. That's my main concern here. And of course, I'll just look at the DIMM 2 slot and make sure that's in there too. So they both seem to be seated pretty well. All right. Okay, so you don't want to put too much pressure on them, obviously, but so we're going to leave it out like this because basically what we're going to do is we want to figure out why we had instability in the system. We know that the DIMM 4 slot has something to do with it. We don't know exactly why. Is it the motherboard? Is it this bank of memory? I mean, obviously, if it's a bank of memory, that's a lot easier than if it's the motherboard because it's a lot more work to disassemble everything from the motherboard. But we're going to basically isolate the problem. Okay, so we just added the memory module when we booted up, and of course, when you do so, you have to go into BIOS or setup, I guess, to get the system to recognize the new memory. So we're going to press F1, and that should get us into BIOS. Really, all we do at this point is we go into BIOS and we exit. And we're here. We can see the normal operations. I'm not going to change any settings while I'm here. The system just goes into BIOS and then we exit, and then we continue on into Windows. Now, the main thing, at this point, we look pretty good. Like, we don't see any system instability. And if we don't, that's great. But we did do a dry run of this, and we did see instability. Now, the question is, how long does it take before we encounter that instability? So the system should be booting up. Let's see what happens here. We see that we have a VGA LED. Okay, here we go, MSI. We're just getting the boot image here. And can we get into Windows? Okay, so we're into Windows. That's great. So let's log in. And okay, so we're in Windows, and it seems like we're doing pretty good here. So now we're gonna do look at performance. Memory is 15.9 gigabytes. I guess that's as close as to 16 gig as you're going to get. We're using our Wi-Fi now. We switched from our direct Ethernet connection after loading everything. We got all of our updates. And things are looking pretty decent here right now. And we're also in Steam. So I guess that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into Steam. We're going to try to stress the system here. We're going to do so with Gary's mod, and we'll see at what point You know, if it doesn't become unstable, then that's fine. Be very happy with that. But I did see instability the last time I did this. Now, if it doesn't happen this time, then it could just simply be that I did not have the second bank of memory uh, in there properly. Okay, so which is the best way to stress the system here? Want to give me a pointer? Okay. So we're going to go into Gmod flatgrass, and hopefully that will. Now we are this little video glitching that we're seeing here. I'm presuming that that's because we don't have our video card in there yet, so I'm not stressing that too much. I'm more concerned. Okay, here we go. PC ran into a problem. Windows.com stop code 40% complete. So this is something we didn't see all that much when we were had just one bank of memory. But as soon as we have the second bank of memory, we're seeing this quite a bit. And I mean, obviously, you know, you can't easily play a game. And of course, this is a gaming system, so we have to be able to play a game. You know, if you stress the system can't crap out on you like that. So we're going to try to isolate what exactly is going on. So I'm going to give it one more try here. Oh, and we're having the problem again. So my goal here at this point, since it seems like it's getting more and more consistent, is I'm going to you know, since we know that it works with one module of memory, I'm going to take this module of memory and swap it over here. And so what I'm hoping is that this module of memory is the problem. And if I take out this one and I just put this problematic module of memory in there, then I believe that we'll be able to isolate it. And it'd be really great if it's just a module of memory, because then I'll just go back to course here and say, well, we got a problem with this memory module. We'll buy 2 more, and we'll see how that works. Okay, I just want to mention here, you know, after our system had trouble, Windows puts us into a recovery mode. Now, one thing, I don't think at this point it makes any sense to go into some of the advanced repair options, because, you know, basically, you know, it's not a restore point you need to go back to. What you really need to do is replace the memory module. So that's what we're going to do. We're isolating the problem. So like I said, we're going to move this guy to the DIM2 slot, see if we have the same problem. If we do, then we're very happy. So let's see if that happens. Okay, so I've already switched the memory module. I took out the good one. So up here we have the good one that seems to be working well for us. And I put the one that we think or we're hoping is problematic. We're putting it right here in the DIM2 slot. Now, if I'm right, and I could be wrong, that if this is a buggy memory module, then when I try to boot up, I'm going to have a lot of problems. Now, we know when we boot up, we're going to see you know, BIOS telling us we have to go into setup, and we'll do that. So let's start by turning on the power. Okay, let's come over here and look at the debug LEDs that are on there. So right now there's a DRAM debug LED that comes on whenever you change the memory, and that's fine. What I'm waiting for is for it to tell us that we have to go into setup. Next, typically we'll have a little bit of a VGA debug LED come on, and then here we have to go into F1 to go into setup, and we're really just going into BIOS. I'm not making any changes to the BIOS. I'm just going in and then I'm exiting. So it's just really a matter of BIOS changing its configuration for the fact that we're now back to one memory module, and then we're going to see whether or not we can operate with this theoretically buggy memory module. Now, if the memory module itself is not buggy, that presents a bigger problem to us, because that would mean that we have a problem with the motherboard as soon as you put more than one memory module in it, and I'm hoping that's not the case. And if it is the motherboard, hopefully it's just a matter of, do we have the right settings for having 2 memory modules? That could also be a problem. So we'll let this boot, and we'll see. We're gonna run the same stress test again, which is just running the Gary's mod, and we'll see whether or not that gets us enough stress to cause a problem. So we'll pause it. Okay, so we have the theoretically buggy memory module, and right now it is looking like it is buggy. So this is actually good. This is actually a lot better than us having to return the motherboard to MSI, because it's just a lot easier to swap out a memory module or to order more memory from. I'll order from Corsair just because I want to have all the same memory, the same DDR4 Corsair Vengeance. But of course, we'll also see if we can do an RMA to them to fix the one memory module that seems to be bugging. This has been like this for, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 minutes now, and it looks like very likely we just cannot even boot into Windows with this memory module. We'll give it a little bit longer, but that's what it's looking like, and that's actually the result I was hoping for. I wasn't sure. It could have just been that as soon as you put the second DIMM4 slot and you start using that the motherboard couldn't handle it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It does look like it's the Corsair, this Corsair memory stick is causing our problem. Okay, so this is looking like what I expect. I don't know if you got a chance to see that. We were just running another test, and we finally got a blue screen on boot up here. Preparing automatic repair. I hope it doesn't try to do too much, because I just think we have a problem with this memory module, and that's a good thing. So that's essentially the end of this video. We're going to go and order new memory, and we should be back in business. But for now, we're stuck with just 8 GB of RAM, which in many cases should be good, but we do have some games that do require a bit more memory. So that's it.